Hello, my name is Charlee Storner. I'm a botanical stylist with Ambius. I get asked a lot of questions about orchids. I'm going to take you through the answers to the top 10 questions most asked. Number 10 on our list is how to use a decorative container. The problem with using a decorative container for an orchid is that you must have drainage. The plant can't sit in water. That is not really good for the roots. So what I like to do is take a container that is quite a bit larger than the pot that the orchid is in, place the orchid in, then you can decorate it with whatever you like. I happen to like this reindeer moss a lot. Simply place this on top. You could use pebbles if you like. And then when it's time to water your orchid, you simply take this off, take your orchid to the sink, and run the water through a couple of times, letting it drain completely, then placing it back in your decorative container. Number 9 on our list is how to repot an orchid. Orchids prefer a chipped bark medium so that the water can run through. It is possible to plant orchids in moss, but you must be very careful with the watering and cut way back on your watering if you do that. All we have to do is place the medium in the bottom of the pot. I've already shaken all the old off. We can remove any roots that are dead. They do die out, they dry out. You can hear that's a crispy one. So we can remove what we'd like, and then once we have, we can spread the roots slightly, put them in the container, and then we'll fill in with our medium. Make sure that you're placing the medium in tight enough to hold the plant and to eliminate any air pockets around the roots. And that's basically all there is to it. You want to go with a larger pot, enough so that you'd have about 3 years worth of growth would be ideal. Number 8 and number 7, we're going to combine those two. I'm often asked, how do I cut the stems on an orchid once the orchids are spent? What you want to do is make sure that you are cutting above a ½ inch or so above a living node. You can tell a living node because the stem is still green and healthy below. If this were brown and shriveled, there would be no point in cutting it here. We would cut it all the way at the base because that would eliminate the dead on the plant, and there's no growth going to come out of there anyway. But since we do have a live stem, we just want to cut our stem about there. And then we want to seal that with our cinnamon. So long as we seal this off so that there's no danger of disease getting in with our cinnamon, we're good to go. Okay, our number 6 most asked question is how to divide or propagate orchids. We're going to use our oncinium. As you can see, it's very well rooted, and it has an awful lot of pseudo bulbs growing out of one little pot. So what we're looking for is a place that kind of naturally splits for the plant. And once we find that, we can insert our sharp knife and we can separate the plant in this manner. Number 5 on our list is too hot, too cold. How do you know what temperature to keep your orchid? The best rule of thumb is for an indoor application, you want your temperature to be during the day between 70 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. At night, the temperature should be lower. It would be nice if it could go as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That would help the plant bloom. So number 4 on our list is light. The best location for your orchid is in an easterly facing window. If you live in a northern climate, however, you might want to use a southern exposure. Number 3 on our list are yellow leaves. I'm often asked, why do I have yellow leaves? There could be many reasons. The most common reason I would suspect is overwatering. The orchids do not really like to stand in water, and if they're watered too often, it can cause rot and cause the leaves to yellow. For number 2, wet feet I like to call it, that is when you have your orchid's roots in water, standing in water. That's a big no-no with orchids. We want our orchids to be watered in a fashion where the water is draining completely out and it's just washing through the roots, and they pick up what they can as that process is happening. Orchids are epiphytes, they're air plants, and they really don't ever in nature stand in water, so we have to make sure that we're not doing that. So the number one problem with orchids, humidity. Humidity can be difficult to achieve. If you don't have 50% relative humidity in your home, one of the things that you can do for your orchid is to mist it daily. Another is to provide a tray of gravel or pebbles full of water. So long as the pots and the roots of the plant are not sitting in the water, they must sit on top of the gravel. You could go to the extreme of adding a humidifier if you're that enthusiastic about keeping your orchid humidified. And that's our list. Good luck.